The biblical narrative in the book of Genesis introduces us to the iconic story of Cain and Abel, who are depicted as the first offspring of Adam and Eve, the inaugural humans in this religious text. In the Genesis account, it's crucial to note that Adam and Eve are not created by God but are, instead, the parents of Cain and Abel, emphasizing the significance of these two brothers as the first naturally conceived human beings. Today we will explore these two brothers Abel and Cain, finding a bit more about their story. The two brothers, Cain and Abel, grew up in an environment that was not devoid of sibling rivalry, but they shared a deep bond of love. One pivotal day, Adam and Eve instructed their sons to express gratitude to God through a special sacrifice, an offering that would please the divine. Abel promptly selected one of his most cherished newborn lambs for this purpose, recognizing that giving it to God held greater significance than keeping it for himself. However, when Cain learned of his brother's selfless act, he found it puzzling. He planned to sacrifice some aged and unwanted produce or, according to other interpretations, some surplus straw. Cain couldn't comprehend why Abel was giving away something so valuable, but both brothers remained resolute in their choices. In the book of Genesis, it is written that God regarded Abel's sacrifice favorably but did not extend the same favor to Cain's offering. While the text doesn't provide a detailed explanation of God's preference, some interpretations suggest that fire symbolizes this divine evaluation. According to this interpretation, both brothers placed their offerings into a fire. Abel's lamb was consumed entirely by the flames, while Cain's sacrifice merely smoldered, with the fire dwindling. This symbolized God's apparent favoritism towards Abel's offering. Cain, consumed by jealousy and unable to comprehend God's choice, succumbed to dark thoughts. In a moment of rage, he lured Abel into the fields and murdered him. After realizing the gravity of his actions, Cain buried his brother and feigned ignorance when God inquired about Abel's whereabouts. The famous line, "Am I my brother's keeper?" exemplifies his attempt to evade responsibility. However, God, omniscient, knew the truth. God's response was swift and severe. He condemned Cain, decreeing that the land he tilled would no longer yield crops, a possible metaphor for a life marked by perpetual failure. This was particularly devastating because farming was Cain's profession and purpose. God further sentenced Cain to a life of restlessness and exile, denying him peace. Cain's response to this punishment was to lament its severity. He feared for his safety, but God marked him to prevent his death at the hands of others, ensuring that his suffering would not end quickly. The story of Cain and Abel underscores the timeless concept that good cannot exist without evil, portraying Abel as the embodiment of goodness and Cain as the manifestation of evil. It serves as a reminder that sin and wrongdoing are intrinsic to human existence, illustrating how jealousy and envy can drive individuals to commit heinous acts, even against their own kin. The story also delves into the theme of rejection and its profound impact. Cain's outrage at God's favoritism reveals that he cared about God's approval, and his rejection without apparent cause serves as a catalyst for his descent into darkness. It demonstrates how rejection, especially without a clear reason, can breed resentment and hatred. Additionally, the tale of Cain and Abel resonates with real-life experiences of jealousy. Cain's jealousy over God's favoritism towards Abel reflects a common human emotion, envy. While most of us do not resort to violence when overshadowed or rejected, we can empathize with Cain's feelings of inadequacy and resentment. The mark of Cain, which protects him from harm but prolongs his suffering, sends a powerful message about not responding to evil with more evil. It serves as a deterrent to revenge, highlighting the consequences of seeking vengeance and how it perpetuates a cycle of suffering. The story of Cain and Abel is a timeless narrative that explores themes of sibling rivalry, jealousy, rejection, and the consequences of evil actions. It encourages reflection on the complexities of human emotions and the importance of choosing a path that leads away from hatred and vengeance, even in the face of rejection and injustice.